Part 2, Admin Scorecard Web Platform Training. This training is only for administrators. In this session, we will cover the Manage Indicator button, the Edit Cell button, the Data Template button, and the Publish button. How this course works. You will need to open a new window and log into the web platform. You will be navigating back and forth between the training video and the web platform. When you see this screen, pause the video and go to the Scorecard web platform to repeat what you have learned. Then return to the video and click play when you are ready to continue. For training purposes, use the demo site. We have created an admin demo site, which you can access by going to new.demoscorecard.org. The username is admin training with a space between admin and training, and the password is 123456. If you would like a blank scorecard to train people on, please contact us at knowledgehub@alma2030.org and we would be happy to set one up for you. Pause the video now and log into the web platform. Manage Indicator. Key highlights from this lesson include how to add a new indicator, how to modify existing indicators, how to merge indicators, and how to shift indicator columns. We will now take a look at the Manage Indicator section of the admin panel. The first button is to add a new indicator. The arrows allow you to shift the indicator column to the left or the right. The pencil allows you to modify existing indicators, and the trash can allows you to delete existing indicators. Let's take a look at each one of these in more detail. If I want to add a new indicator to the scorecard, I can use this plus button under Manage Indicator. However, first, it is necessary to select the category associated with my indicator. For example, if I wanted to add an indicator to Category 2, I must first select Category 2 by clicking on the column, then clicking on the plus to add the indicator. From this window, I will be able to enter all of the information related to my indicator. Let's take a look at each field. After clicking the plus button, you will arrive to this screen. This is the General tab for new indicators. The first thing I must select is whether I want to have this column be an indicator or a label. If I want to display just text, I can select Label. If I would like an indicator showing data values or numbers, you can select Indicator. Next, it is necessary to write the name of the indicator in this field. You can activate or deactivate the indicator by clicking on this tick box. If you deactivate an indicator, it will not appear on the scorecard. Next, you will have to select the number format associated with the indicator by clicking on this drop-down. Many indicators are formatted in percentage format. However, if your indicator is using whole numbers, you can select thousand separator. There are other options such as color only, yes or no, categories, or unlimited percentages which allow you to go past 100%. Select the format that is relevant to your indicator. It is also necessary to select the reporting frequency associated with your indicator. The system allows you to select monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual reporting. This tells the system how often new data needs to be updated in the scorecard for this particular indicator. On the bottom, you can use the drop-down to put your indicators in different waves. If you want the indicator to appear immediately on the scorecard, put it in Wave 1. If the indicator does not yet have data, but the data will be available in the near term, you can place the indicator in wave 2. If the data will not be available in the medium or long term, you can place the indicator in wave 3. Wave 2 or wave 3 indicators also require you to untick the data available box. Once that is done, you will be able to move on to the next tab, Description. In the Descriptions tab, you will see there is only one mandatory field, the source. Here I can write the name of the source of the indicator, for example, DHIS2. It is always a good idea to also include the definition of the numerator and the denominator so that people know exactly how you are arriving at the calculation. In some cases, if the numerator and denominator are not sufficient, it may also be useful to add an extra definition. However, these are not mandatory fields. Let us now look at the third tab, labeled Thresholds. From here, you will be able to change the arrow thresholds and the color thresholds. The arrow thresholds allow you to tell the system how much change is necessary in order for you to see an arrow. Remember, the arrows tell us whether the performance is getting better or worse relative to the previous scorecard or the previous year. If there is an indicator that is seasonal, such as the case of malaria incidents, you will want to select the previous year because it is more useful to know how the performance was doing compared to the same quarter of the previous year. When adding thresholds, it is important to understand the indicator's format. In this example, we are using percentage format. This means that the thresholds must be added as decimals. In this case, 0.05 means 5%. If we add 5% as the up threshold, an up arrow will only appear if there has been a change of 5 or more points. For example, if in the previous quarter we were at 50%, but this quarter we have increased to 55%, you will see an up arrow this quarter because there has been a change of 5 points. The same is true of the down thresholds. Here we must include a minus symbol to denote that the change must go down in order to see a down arrow. The color thresholds are used to tell the system at which point should the data value turn colors, from red to yellow and from yellow to green. It is important to remember the indicator's format. Since in this case we are using a percentage format, it is necessary to input the thresholds in decimal form. In this case, 0.6 means 60% and 0.8 means 80%. This means that any data value below 60% will be red, any data value between 60 and 80 will be yellow, and any data value above 80% will be in green. In some cases, where the objective of the indicator is to have a lower value, as is the case in maternal mortality or malaria incidents, where a lower number is actually better, then it is necessary to inverse the thresholds so that the higher value is on the top and the lower value is on the bottom. In this case, we have added 80% as the red to yellow threshold and 60% as the yellow to green threshold. This tells the system that any data value above 80% will be red, any data value between 80 and 60 will be yellow, and any data value below 60% will be green. On the bottom left side of the Thresholds tab, there is a tick box with advanced options. If you tick this box, you will find a new drop-down menu under the arrows threshold with two options, absolute and relative. The web platform by default selects absolute. This is like the last example we saw, whereby if we set the up threshold to 5%, there must be at least a change in absolute value of 5 points for the arrow to appear. For example, from 50% to 55%, there has been an absolute increase of 5 points. However, if you select relative with 5% as the threshold, the arrow will only appear if there has been a change of 5% relative to the previous value. If we take the example of 50% with a 5% relative arrow threshold, this means the arrow will only show if there is an increase of at least 5% of 50, which is 2.5%. The increase necessary to see an arrow is relative to the current value. In the case of color thresholds, the advanced options allow you to add an interval of good performance. Let's take the example of cesarean rates. WHO said that cesarean rates should be between 5% and 15%. If it is above 15%, there are too many cesareans being conducted. If it is below 5%, there are too few cesareans being conducted. This means that the green should be between 5 and 15%. If I configure the advanced options for the color thresholds, I can set an interval where below a certain data value will be red and above a certain data value will also be red. In this case, I have set any number below 2% to be red, any number between 2 and 5% will be yellow, any value between 5 and 15 will be green, any value between 15 and 17 yellow, and then any data value above 17 becomes red again. At this point, after you have completed the General tab, the Descriptions tab, and the Thresholds tab, you are ready to create and add the indicator to the scorecard by clicking on Create. However, you will notice in this example there is also a DHIS2 tab. The DHIS tab only appears after metadata or a structural file has been imported into the web platform. You can export that structural file using the Alma Export DHIS2 app. After you have imported the metadata, you will find this tab appearing in the Add Indicator section. To link an indicator to DHIS, simply select the indicator from the dropdown and then click on Create. Once I click on Create, the indicator will be added to the scorecard. Under Manage Indicator, there is a Merge function which allows you to merge two columns into one. For example, if there are two related indicators that I would like to merge, I can select the indicator, and then I can click on Manage Indicator and select whether I would like to merge it with the left column or the right column. In this case, we have two indicators that are related that are next to each other. One for ANC 1 to 3 dropout rate and ANC 4. Since these are two related ANC indicators, I could merge them so they appear in one column. Let's take a look. The first step is to select the indicator that I'd like to merge, and then I have to tell the system whether I want to merge it with the column to the left or the column to the right. In this case, we will merge with the column to the left. By clicking on the column to the left, both indicators will merge, and you can see will appear in one column separated by a line. If I would like to unmerge the indicators, simply select the column and click Unmerge. The left and right arrows under Manage Indicator allow you to shift a column one space to the right or one space to the left. Let's take a look. For example, if I wanted to shift this ANC4 indicator so that it appears to the right of the IPT3 coverage indicator, I can select the column and then click on the right arrow in order to shift the column. You can see the column has moved one space to the right. If I would like to go to the left, I can click on the left button. If I would like to modify or edit an existing indicator, I can use this pencil button. First, select the indicator that you would like to edit by clicking on the column. Then click on the pencil button to access this window. From here, you will be able to change anything under the General tab, the description, the thresholds, or even the DHIS2 link if you have configured the interoperability. Once you have made your changes, click on Update to confirm the changes. The orange button on the bottom with a trash can icon is used to delete indicators. If you would like to delete an indicator, click on the column and then click on the orange button. The system will ask you if you are sure you want to delete the indicator. To confirm the changes, click on Delete. It is important to note that the web platform has something called historical integrity. This means that if I make a change on the system, it will only affect the current quarter and subsequent or future quarters. For example, right now I am on Q3 2020. If I delete the ANC4 indicator by clicking on this orange button, the indicator will only be deleted in Q3 2020 and future scorecards. Q2 2020 and previous scorecards will still include ANC4. This allows the scorecard to evolve through time while saving the changes in the system. Pause the video now and go to the Scorecard web platform to repeat what you have learned. Return to the video and click play when you are ready to continue. You can now pause. Edit Cell button. In this session, we will see how to add or modify data one cell at a time. We will now take a look at the Edit Cell section of the admin panel. Edit Cell allows you to change the data value of one cell. To change the data value, select the cell and rewrite the data value. After rewriting the data value, click on Update in order to update the value. If you would like to delete the data value, click on the orange button. Pause the video now and go to the Scorecard web platform to repeat what you have learned. Return to the video and click play when you are ready to continue. You can now pause. Data template. Key highlights from this lesson include how to use the Excel template to upload data and how to upload data from DHIS2. We will now look at the data template section of the admin panel. There are two ways of adding data to the web platform. One is by using an Excel template, and two is by importing the values directly from DHIS2. Now we will look at how to use the Excel template. To download an Excel template that allows you to upload data into the Scorecard web platform, you must first select the first period and the last period you would like to work with. If you are only working with one period at a time, you can select the same period as both first and last. Next, you must select the highest level for which you want to populate data. For example, if I want to populate data for the entire country, I can leave the selection of the country line. However, if I want to work with an Excel template that only shows a particular region, I can select that region and work with only that region. Next, I must select the region depth. The region depth tells the system how many levels below my selection I would like to include in my Excel. For example, if I have country selected as the highest level and a region depth of 2, my Excel template will include country and all of the regions. If I increase this to a region depth of 3, the Excel template will include country, regions, and districts. In this example, I will download an Excel template that includes only country and regions. Once I have selected the periods, the highest level, and the region depth, I can click on Download Excel. After downloading the Excel, open the file, and you will find on the first tab a summary of the indicator definitions. It will include the category, the indicator name, a description, the numerator, the denominator, and the source. In the subsequent tabs, you will be able to fill in the data. In this particular example, Q4 2020 does not have any data, so I can add it to the Excel. It is important that I don't make any changes to the Excel file except for adding or modifying data. For example, I cannot change the name of an indicator from this Excel file. I would have to do that on the live system. If I make any changes to this template other than changing the data, when I try to upload the data template, it will not work. That is why you should always download the latest Excel template in order to ensure that it uploads correctly. There are two important commands that this Excel template uses. If you would like to delete a data value, it is not sufficient to just delete the number from the cell. In order to delete the value, you must write DEL into the cell. If you would like to turn the cell gray to make it not applicable, you can write NA in the cell. These two commands are important to keep in mind as you are making updates to data. When you are done filling in the Excel, remember to save your file. Then you can return to the web platform to upload the Excel. In this case, I was working on Q4 2020, so I will move to Q4 2020. Next, I must click on Data Template, and finally, I can click on Upload Excel and select my file in order to upload the data. In this particular case, I only filled in data for the first indicator, so this is what we will see appear. In the cell where I had written NA, you will see that it has turned gray. In the cell where I had written DEL, there is no data value because we deleted the data. Another way of uploading data into the Scorecard web platform is to import the values directly from DHIS2. To do this, you must first link your Scorecard to your DHIS2 using the Alma Export app. Once the Scorecard is linked, you will be able to export the data from the app. After downloading the data JSON file, you'll be able to upload the data by clicking on Import DHIS Values. Select the JSON file and click Open to upload the data. This process is covered in much more detail in the next course on DHIS2 linking. Pause the video now and go to the Scorecard web platform to repeat what you have learned. Return to the video and click play when you are ready to continue. You can now pause. The Publish button. In this lesson, you will learn how to publish your scorecard. We will now take a look at the Publish section of the admin panel. From here, you will be able to download a PDF of your scorecard, publish a PDF of your scorecard, unpublish your scorecard, view the PDF, or view the public website hosting the PDF. Let's take a look at each one of these in more detail. The first button under the Publish Scorecard section allows you to download a PDF of your scorecard. This PDF can be shared via email as an attachment, even with people that don't have access to the scorecard. Alternatively, you can publish the scorecard to an online website by clicking on this second button. Once the scorecard has been published, if you would like to view the PDF, you can click on this I button on the bottom. This will take you to the site where the PDF is hosted. If you would like to go to the website that is hosting all of your PDFs, you can click on this bottom button on the right. This will show you the various scorecards that have been published. If you would like to unpublish your scorecard, you can click on the red icon with the garbage can. All of these options are very useful if you would like to share the scorecard, in particular with people that don't have access to the web platform. Pause the video now and go to the Scorecard web platform to repeat what you have learned. Return to the video and click play when you are ready to continue. You can now pause. This now concludes part 2 of the Admin Scorecard web platform training.